Howdy partners, it's your old buddy the Reddit writer. Welcome back to the Reddit Ranch. Come in and sit a spell and listen to the mighty fine tales I gotta tell. Our first story of the day was posted by a little filly that thinks she may, for some odd reason, be a sidewinder for picking her son over her boyfriend.
AITA for choosing my son over my boyfriend? On Wednesday, I gave my now ex money to buy supplies and gifts for my son's birthday because I had to work. He took the money and the list. When I got home from work, I asked if he was able to find everything we needed. He started crying, saying he was forced to repay his loan shark or they were going to hurt him. He used my $250 to cover a gambling debt that I didn't know he had. He said that we don't have my money versus his money, that it is our money. There is no ring on my hand. I had to DoorDash for over a month on my hour lunch break to earn this extra money for my son's birthday. I asked him if he owed some dangerous loan shark money, why wasn't he working extra to repay them? He is an able-bodied adult. If he was afraid for his life, he sure didn't act like it. He told me his gambling isn't that big of a deal and that he will just repay me when he gets paid. Absolutely not. He stole from a child, his gambling is a big deal. He told me I really needed to rethink my decision because we could just pretend his birthday was on another day. He doesn't know it's his birthday. My son has special needs, but is high functioning. He knows his birthday is coming up, and he knows we are supposed to have a party. It's already harder for boys to make friends, let alone having a disability that seems weird to other kids, but he has 10 kids that RSVP'd to his party that is supposed to be on Sunday. I already paid the partial deposit for the jump gym. He tried telling me I should just forgive him because no one will want you with a son like him. I told him he had 24 hours to give me my money back and that he needed to find somewhere else to stay. I have 3 kids here who I'm not going to have in potential danger because of him. Today I went to make a police report to show him I was serious so that he would bring my money back. I told the officer what had happened and was told that since I gave him the money that it wasn't a crime, so I couldn't make a report. I was telling my friend about what happened and she basically said that he was a good guy who just made a mistake. That dating these days is hard as hell and I'm never going to find another guy who will want me with all my baggage. I have 3 kids whose dad is in prison for what he did to me. When you are in a relationship, you help each other. It's creepy that you are choosing a child over a grown man. She told me I should just cancel the party and swallow the cost of the deposit. To just pretend his birthday is actually after I get paid. I'm sick to my stomach that these people in my life think just because my son has disabilities, I can easily manipulate him. I'm going to have to cancel and call all the parents, which is giving me so much anxiety because when I'm upset, I cry and I'm about to be boohooing while trying to explain to my son what happened. My now ex was the only male figure in his life, and this is going to crush him. Am I living in the twilight zone? How am I the AH here?
Well ma'am, for one, when it comes to your so-called friends, I reckon they're none too bright. How could they think he's a good guy when he, as you said, pretty much stole from y'all's son? And as for your now ex's opinion that his gambling is not a big deal. If he needed to involve loan sharks, then it absolutely is a big deal. I mean, those guys don't play games at all. However, I doubt there is a loan shark. I reckon the varmint probably lost at gambling. You definitely ain't a sidewinder, all you did is do what all good mothers do. You protected your kids. You are a true hero. Well now, what do y'all reckon partners? Do you think there was actually a loan shark, or did he just gamble it away? Please, let me know in the comments. Our next story involves a cowpoke that wants to know if he should stop spoiling his daughter. Well partner, if you want, y'all could always adopt me. This good old boy wouldn't mind being spoiled once in a while.
AITA for refusing to stop spoiling my daughter? I'm 45, and I have an ex named Haley who's 40. We split up amicably because she came out as lesbian. She is now married to Jane, and they have 2 daughters together, Rose and Mel, who's 14 and 10. Me and Haley also have shared custody of our daughter, Anna, who's 17. Now, to start, every person involved in the story, except possibly me, is an amazing person. I truly love Haley and her wife and view them as dear friends. The issue, however, involves the amount of money I spend on my daughter Anna. I am fairly well off thanks to working for years on my business, and I like to buy my daughter the best of the best. She is also not bratty and doesn't act spoiled. She always shares the stuff that I get her, designer bags, dresses, tech, even her new car, with her stepsisters, and they have an amazing relationship. I also make sure to buy equally expensive gifts for all three girls when it comes to special occasions, as a good family friend should. However, my daughter has a much bigger allowance than her stepsisters, and that obviously shows in the stuff she buys for herself. So far, I had not heard any complaints from anyone. That is until Haley came over the other day to talk and asked me if I can tone down Anna's allowance a bit. I asked why, and she told me Jane's sister was worried when she found out about the arrangement. She believes you can't raise kids in one household with different lifestyles without creating resentment, and while they may have an amazing relationship now, that might change when the two girls get older and start to understand concepts like wealth and class. However, I think that applies more to situations where one side of the family is starving and the other is fed with a silver spoon, not discrepancies in the amount of Taylor Swift merch owned, especially since Anna always shares. She also is not allowed to spend her money on traditionally family experiences, like Disneyland or trips, without offering it to the girls too. And frankly, I worked hard for my money and shouldn't be obligated to consider the impact on another family's dynamic before spending it. And there is no evidence that their relationship is suffering as a result of money. But on the other hand, I'm worried about what if Jane's sister is right, and if this could be planting seeds of resentment. If that is true, I'd rather my daughter have a better relationship with her sisters than a larger allowance. AITA if I refuse to stop spoiling my daughter? Please be brutally honest.
Well, partner, y'all ain't a sidewinder. This doesn't sound like it's causing any kind of issues between the youngings. In fact, the only person who seems to be having a problem with it is Jane's sister. It's merely her opinion, not fact. Besides, her sister did overlook one important fact: if you cut back suddenly on Anna's allowance, and she figures out why, could she not end up resenting her stepsisters anyway? I mean, she could see it as being their fault. I reckon y'all shouldn't pay Jane's sister no never mind. I think you're doing right by all parties, and you should continue the good work. What do you think, partners? Do you think he's in the right, or do you think he should tone it down a bit? Tell me what y'all reckon down below. Next we have one by a little lady whose story is truly a heartbreaking one, and she is not entirely sure what to do about it.
I'm considering divorcing my husband. I think I already know what I need to do, I'm just so afraid to pull the trigger. We have been together for 10 years, married for 5 and have a 3-year-old child. Problems started when I was pregnant. He refused to kiss me, touch me, show any sort of affection. He wouldn't even feel our baby kicking because it freaked him out. I even considered that he could be messing around. He wasn't, he just wasn't attracted to a pregnant woman, I guess. I wasn't grotesque pregnant, I had a cute little belly. It hurt me so bad, I still feel like I was robbed during that time. Postpartum things didn't get much better. I had a traumatic birth and my PPD/PPA was pretty bad. He would scream at me to go to the doctor if I was having a bad day, even though I had, and continued even when I begged him to stop and leave me alone. I eventually started resenting him during this time and for his behavior during pregnancy. He has also been continually self-centered, belittling, and inattentive. During the peak of my success, he often expressed how he didn't feel like he was able to be the man of the house, eventually forcing me to quit my job and then stealing the business I built. I resent him so much that I often refuse to cuddle with him. I complain that he doesn't treat me well and his response is that I won't treat you like a wife 'cause you don't do wifely things for me, aka cuddle with him. Honestly, at this point it grosses me out to cuddle with him. But I'm so afraid of ruining my family if I leave him. I've mentioned divorce multiple times, but he guilts me saying I will ruin my child's life and it's not fair for our child to have separate homes and see his mom messing around if I got a new boyfriend. I'm also so stressed about splitting assets. After he stole pretty much everything from me, I don't know how I will survive. I'm also so terrified to start over, starting at literal ground zero and hurting my child and their future. So many people say marriage is about hard work and not giving up, but I feel like I'm too far past getting help. I asked him to go to therapy and he refused for a long time until he said, "Fine, but I want to go to a man, because he's gonna agree you need to start acting like a wife," and after that comment I just have no interest in therapy. I mean, this is just a rough broad overview of the issues, but any thoughts?
Ma'am, he wants y'all to start acting like a wife? Maybe this sidewinder should start acting like a husband. He can start by not belittling you, by not stealing y'all's business, and by not acting like the little piglet that he is. Guys like that is why men have such bad reputations. You have good reasons to be resentful of him, and you have good reasons not to be with him. I think the best choice you can make for yourself and your younging is to leave him. You deserve better. As does your kid. Talk to a lawyer, get child support, and get alimony. And remember, you're not the reason your marriage had to end. This sorry excuse for a man is. Well, what's your opinion, partners? What's worse, coming from a broken home, or living in a loveless home? What do y'all think she should do? Let me know what you think below. Our last story today is by a young man whose girlfriend abandoned him and his son. Then comes back 11 years later wanting to be part of his son's life. So partners, y'all sit back and watch the story while I rage scream into my Stetson.
AITA for not allowing my ex-GF to meet our son after she abandoned us. When I was 21, I met this girl, Linda, in college. We started dating, and after a year she accidentally got pregnant. I felt I was too young to be a father, but decided that, if she wanted to keep the baby, I would have taken care of them. She changed her mind a dozen times, but in the end she decided to keep the child. So I did what I had to do. Our families weren't rich, so I left college, found a job, and started preparing for the child. My son, Leo, was born in June. I worked impossible hours, spent whatever was left of my time taking care of Leo, and my mother spent a lot of time at our apartment to help taking care of Leo. Linda's parents did basically nothing. They told me to my face that I was not welcome in their home, and they spent a total of 2 hours with Leo in the months following his birth. When Leo was 7 months old, Linda bailed on us. One day she called my father to come and help take care of Leo. He went to our apartment, and she wasn't there. Leo was sleeping in his crib and Linda's belongings were gone together with the money left in the house. I tried contacting her and going to her parents' home, but they weren't there, and she never answered the phone. It's been 11 years since then. Now it's just me, Leo, and my father. My mother unfortunately passed away last year. Despite all the problems we had, Leo has grown up to be an amazing, cheerful, and smart kid. He is my pride and joy, and I will do anything to protect him and make him happy. He doesn't remember his mother. A few weeks ago, Linda showed up at my door in the middle of the day. She asked to talk, and I reluctantly agreed. To sum it up, what she said, she is sorry for what she did and wants to be part of Leo's life again. I told her no. She begged and then said some unkind thing about me as a person when I refused again. I told her I do not care what she thinks. Until Leo is old enough to make a choice, she will not see him. After he is old enough, I will tell him the truth and he will decide on his own accord what he wants to do. Since, unfortunately, we live in a small town where rumors spread rapidly, I'm now being judged by some neighbors for my reaction. I don't think I am in the wrong here, and my family agrees with me, but I guess another opinion would be welcomed since I'm basically going crazy. So here I am, AITA?
Partner, there ain't no way y'all could be the sidewinder in this here story. All you did is what all good fathers do, you protected your younging. She had her chance to be a mother, and she blew it epically. Just because she gave birth does not make her a mother. It makes her an incubator, and the fact that she was gone for 11 years, well, that just makes her a deadbeat now, don't it? I think your plan is a solid one. Although, y'all might want to tell Leo sooner than later. I mean, if the old rumor mill is traveling through y'all's town faster than a stallion, Then he might find out about his so-called mama before y'all have a chance to tell him. In that case, y'all can't even guarantee that he's been told the truth. Of course, in any event, when he finds out what had happened, and if Leo decides to meet her, she better be prepared to answer the one question I'm pretty sure he'll ask. Why? Well now, what do y'all think he should do about this here situation, partners? Should he tell his younging now to do a bit of a preemptive strike, or wait until he's older in hopes he'd understand a bit better? Tell me your thoughts in the comments below. Well, I plumb reckon that's all the time we got today, but if y'all like this here video then please, hit like and subscribe, it'll really make this old cowpoke smile. And if y'all got anything to say, then feel free to tell me what's on your mind down in the comments. Until y'all come back to the Reddit Ranch. Adios.